Hey everyone, this vlog is awesome. It's going to be so much fun. I've got my friend Melanie from Keynotes Music here. Hey Melanie, how are you?
Hello, very well, thank you.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to be interviewing Melanie on her top 5 tips for teaching group piano lessons, but it applies to all different instruments as well.
And this is Jonny from Builder Music School, and he's going to be telling us all about 5 top business tips that he gives to music school owners to make awesome, thriving schools.
Awesome. Well, we've got 5 tips each, so I'm going to ask you to go first, Melanie. What's your number 1 tip for people running successful group teaching lessons?
So my number 1 tip is to have a collaborative approach. Everyone is learning the same song together. All of the learning needs that you have will be met through doing it this way.
So good. Love it. My number 1 tip for the business side of things is to get the pricing right. Don't just copy someone else's pricing and just think, well, they're charging £30 or $50 a lesson, I should do that. That bears no relevance to what you actually need to charge for your budget or where you sit in the market locally. Those things need to be taken into consideration. You don't want to overprice, you don't want to underprice, because those things can be very hard to fix and take time and take awkward conversations. One of the best things you can do is we have a really great calculator built in our Builder Music School library. You can access that free down below, and it will punch in all the numbers and it'll show you what your optimal price point is for group lessons, and you can figure that out. So you pick a number that makes sense. So getting the price right is number 1.
Awesome. So my second one is, whilst you are teaching collaboratively, you should have a strategy for managing your individual learners, because they will definitely all move at different paces, and you need a plan to both challenge those that are moving fast and support those that are moving slowly.
That's really cool. And on that note, Keynotes Music is the program that's going to help everyone operate in that way, where everyone's moving, but it's taking into account all their individual levels. So definitely check out, what's the website?
Keynotes-music.com.
Cool, and we'll put it down below, so definitely check that out. Super cool. My point number 2 is to focus on building community. So one thing that we really found in growing our music school, from going solo myself, 30 students, to a large school of a couple thousand, is to focus on building community. We believe that people come for the content, so they come for the lessons and that the stuff they're going to learn, but they stay for the community. So we focus really hard on making sure that people felt part of something, that they made friends. And that can be, I mean, there's hundreds of ideas of how you do that, but one of the simplest things that you can start doing tomorrow is, at the start of any group class, you get everyone just sharing something as a little icebreaker. So some ideas can be happy and crappy. What's made you happy this week and what was a bit crappy? Or we do a thing called what's on top. So what's on the top of your mind right now? Or how's your week been out of 10? Or highlight, low light. There's 3 or 4 different versions, and that gets people talking about their week. They're getting to know each other, they're building empathy for each other, and they've got conversation starters with each other, and it feels more like a family. So focus on community, because then people don't want to leave because they're leaving friends, not just leaving a lesson.
Awesome, I love that. So my third one is to use singing all the time in your lessons. Singing is a great way for kids to learn new concepts. So we sing things like D is in the middle of the 2 black keys, obviously with a tune, and they're actually singing the instructions to themselves. And we know that singing helps with so many aspects of learning. All of our pieces that we teach have lyrics in our songs, but we also get them to sing finger numbers, sing letter names, and they are then singing what they need to do, and it massively helps, and it helps them to kind of internalize the melody and the pulse as well, and the rhythm, obviously, with the lyrics. And the wonderful thing about groups is that singing, kids are more likely to want to sing when they're in a group of students rather than on their own. So yeah, use lots of singing in your group lessons.
Yeah, that's really cool. My business tip, what are we up to, number 3, is to leverage healthy competition. Now, one of the ways we obviously can do that is through gamifying the lessons, and that's probably more of a teaching thing, but you can also do it with your marketing. So one of the things we had great success with and trying to scale up is realizing, well, if everyone signs up one friend and they all sign up one friend and they sign up one friend, we'll be a massive music school in no time. And so we ran sign up a friend challenges. And so we'd have all these different vouchers that people could win. And so they would get to choose, hey, if you sign up a friend, would you like a movie voucher or a McDonald's voucher or a shopping mall voucher? And so we could leverage the competition in the group saying, hey, the person that signs up the most friends this year is going to win this big prize. And you can come up with a prize that's relevant to you and cool in your area. Holiday fun packs are one of the best ones, where you actually grab 5 or 6 different vouchers that it might only actually be worth $50, but a parent goes, oh, wow, well, this is 5 different activities for the school holidays. And you're a parent, Melanie, you know how great that would be.
That'd be amazing.
It was a lot of time. So leverage that healthy competition for even your marketing amongst your group, because kids get competitive, especially if there's a big goal and a big prize up for grabs. So think through that.
Amazing. So number 4 for teaching is that you should go into every lesson knowing exactly what it is you want your kids to learn. So you've got your learning objectives, and you should also know how they're going to evidence that learning. So how are they going to show you that they've learned the thing that you want them to learn? So you've got your learning objectives and how you're going to monitor that they have, that they've indeed learnt them. And then you need to make sure that with that, you've got your feedback that you're giving to kids, and you're giving them something amazing that they did and then a next step. So always start with a positive. I love the way you did this. And then a next step. Next, can you focus on this? Can you have a think about this?
Yeah, that's really important. I love that. And number 4 for me is to review your studio policies, or we might call them terms and conditions. And so when you're teaching groups, think that's different to teaching one-on-ones. And so think through all the tricky situations where, there's always that one awkward parent. In today's language, we might call them a Karen, and she's going to press you on every little awkward thing, about catch-ups, refunds, notice periods to leave. You need to think through all those things, as tedious as it is. We just want to be creative and play music and change the world one music lesson at a time, but she wants to pick holes at your stuff, and so you just have to have it prepared. So every time you do have a little awkward situation like that, where someone even makes a little snarky comment or something, just review your terms and conditions. Have you actually made sure the wording's really succinct and smooth and makes sense? And one policy you want to add in there is we have the right to update the terms and conditions, and we'll keep them on our webpage. So load them to your website, and we'll keep an up-to-date policy here for any time you want to flick back and take a look. And that allows you to just make changes kind of as you please without going crazy overboard. So yeah, 4th business tip is going to be review your studio policies and terms and conditions in relation to group lessons.
Yeah, and I think that with group lessons, having a notice period, a good notice period, so I have half a term, which is 6 to 8 weeks, is so important, because you need to know who's going to be in your groups the following term, and so you can organise them appropriately. It's so important. My number 5, structuring your lesson so that you have consistency from week to week, and so that you can make sure that you are planning lots of different types of activities.
Okay.
So you've got games, both games for introducing concepts and games for consolidating concepts. You've got listening, really important to listen, and singing, as I said earlier, obviously playing the piano, both practice time and playing out loud time. Colouring, moving, dancing, clapping, all sorts of different activities that will kind of reach out to all the different learning styles that you have in your room. And the consistency, because kids really do like consistency. They like to manage their expectations and to know what's going to be happening and the order it's going to be happening in. But obviously each week you change exactly what it is, the content that you're doing, but just keeping the structure the same.
Yeah, that's really cool. And so for the person that's thinking, I can't come up with all that sort of stuff on the spot, your program, Keynotes, I've had a look. It's absolutely incredible. Our Build a Music School members, there's many of them who use it and love it. You've actually mapped out a lot of that stuff for people, right? So they don't have to think it through.
Yeah. We've got lesson plans that take you through everything, and links to all the different games that you're going to use and all the different resources, and all the difficulty levels for the challenges for each piece as well, so that you can manage each learner.
So it feels like this exciting new lesson every week, like, I wonder what's going to happen this week. But really, they're following this thing that you've mapped out, and they don't have to do any of the brain work. It's all there, and you've tried and tested it, well, with people from all over the world. Thousands and thousands of kids have been through it, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Very cool. So there'll be a link down below where you can make sure you check out Keynotes Music. Anyway, let's move on to my point number 5 to wrap us up. For business tips for your group lessons is that you need to reinvest the extra money that you're going to make. Group lessons is one of those things that does skyrocket your income if you do it right. Like I mentioned, pricing correctly, and there's a whole lot of other stuff around managing the money side of your business. But you're going to have a lot of extra money. And so think really carefully, what do you want to do with that? You can either just take it for yourself and buy fancier things and experiences for yourself, or you can, give it away, and that's a cool way to do it as well. Or you can reinvest it into your business so that you can grow and create more exciting experiences. And I know for myself, starting with, 30 kids learning one-on-one, moving to groups, moving to hiring teams, and growing to, 2,000 students, and being able to have all that extra money, it unlocked all these incredible things, right down to, giving stuff away, being able to, we fill a bus every Friday with kids that can't afford lessons. We go into these areas, the much poorer areas, bring them back to our building where they get an incredible lesson experience for an evening. And we couldn't do that if we didn't reinvest the money back in. And so that's one more philanthropic idea, but there's so many other cool things you can do as you reinvest, whether it's charitable or whether it's for profit or just cooler experiences for your students, whether that's cooler events, building little recording things, unlimited ideas. So reinvest and use that money wisely. And I'll just finish by saying, one of the great investments that you can make is into Keynotes Music. If you teach piano, if you have teachers that teach piano for you, this is a program worth looking at. It's absolutely incredible. The resources are amazing. I've just been hounding Melanie about why she doesn't charge enough, because she's just too generous and too lovely. And so you want to get in now because the wealth of resources and her knowledge. She's partway through a PhD. She's that good at what she does in this field. So get onto that program, check it out, link down below. The final one, of course, is Build a Music School. And so we have, I think, one of the best programs for music teachers, academy owners, who are really serious about building something really epic. And you don't have to want to build as big a school as I did, but if you want to be surrounded by the best people and the best resources, you need to come join us. And so grab a free trial down below. Come take a look. Stick around if it's for you. If it's not, that's totally cool. Give you a high five out the door, and that's totally cool. So grab a link to either of our programs, and we hope that you have enjoyed this video. See you next time.
Bye.